I guess you're in Mr. Fitz / Ella's room right now. This is really cool. This is my favorite. This is my favorite set of the whole. You know, on all of our stages, because if you look up, these cross beams are permanent, and then all these walls fly in and out. They're all on motors, so this becomes like the cafeteria. This can become the like library and the media studies room. So it can open up to be like a big thing. It's a really cool design.
So it sounds like you're kind of interested in behind the scenes as well.
I am.
Right?
Yeah. I'm going to do a shameless self-promotion right now. I also host the Secrets Revealed series for Pretty Little Liars. It's a behind-the-scenes video that's exclusively on iTunes Season Pass. So you can go on iTunes, buy a pass for the entire season, and then you get, about a 5 to 7 minute behind-the-scenes video for each episode. So at the moment we have 12 behind-the-scenes videos, and it takes you around to each department. We talk to the department heads, and they kind of tell us what they contribute to Pretty Little Liars and stuff like that. So it's a lot of fun. So check it out. Buy the season pass. Check it out.
So we should preview the mid-season finale, right?
Yes, yes.
Dish.
What can I tell and what can I not tell? That's the question. I'm sorry, I keep knocking into this thing. You're gonna hear booms and stuff on all your recorders. Sorry. So let's see. A absolutely steps up his or her game in this mid-season finale. A lot more so than last year. We killed somebody last year, or almost killed somebody. So, but what's going to be different about this finale is each girl is put to the test by A in a different way. So they're all manipulated to do different things in their personal lives as opposed to as a group. So leading up to the mid-season finale, I guess tomorrow night's episode is number 11. The girls finally tell somebody about A. That there is this person who's out there doing these terrible things to them. I don't think I can say who, but you're probably. It's leading up to. It's the obvious of who they would tell that to. So that person might be getting involved in the mid-season finale. They might be threatened. Who knows? But it's the whole A dilemma is going to be stretching outside of their little circle.
Well, it sounds like you know a lot about the overall story, but what's coming up for you specifically?
Well, there's a lot of exciting Lucas stuff coming up in season 2. So in January when we come back, Lucas is going to have a pretty heavy storyline that may or may not involve Hannah, and that's actually going to start to develop in the our Halloween special, which is going to kick off the ABC Family 13 Days of Halloween, and I guess what I can say about that is that that episode is completely a prequel to the pilot. So Allison is alive in this episode, and Halloween, of course, is her favorite holiday. So we're going to see how Allison not only torments Lucas, but the rest of Rosewood. So we'll get a lot more information about why somebody might have killed her. And yeah, I can't give away too many specifics about what I do in that episode or what happens. Because it sets up kind of this plot line for the second half of the season, but it's very exciting. It's different from anything that we've ever seen, from Lucas before. So, it's very exciting for me as an actor, and I hope that it's exciting for the audience as well.
Did you have input into what your Halloween costume would be?
I didn't. It was a huge surprise to me. Again, I can't say specifically what it is. It's the biggest surprise, I would say, in the episode. Is what my Halloween costume is, but it was custom made. Actually, all the costumes were custom made by Mandy Line, our costume designer, and they told me a little bit about how about the process of that. That it was originally written as one thing, and then our props people came in and. Let's say that there's an element to it that is the props department. There's also an element to the costume that is the wardrobe department. So, everybody came in with their different ideas of what this thing would be, and it kind of molded and morphed into this kind of. It's really creepy. Again, I'm trying to say as much as I can without giving it away. It's a little sick and twisted. Let's just say that.
Is Lucas going to get another love interest besides Hannah in the second half of season 2?
Well, Danielle is not necessarily out of the picture, but let's see, we're on episode 2 of the second half at the moment, and the Lucas's storyline is in a different direction at the moment. But I would never say that Hannah is completely out of the question. I think that their relationship has a lot of different layers to it, a lot more so than just being my crush or her just seeing me as like a study buddy or whatever. There's a lot of different layers to it, and there's a lot of history that these characters have, and you're going to see a lot more of that. The history behind that, with both of their relationships with Allison and how those kind of, I guess. What am I trying to say? I apologize. How their relationship and how Allison's relationship with the both of them kind of affected this triangle of Allison-ness.
So it sounds like you're going to be more prominently featured in
Yes.
the second half. Is that something that was discussed with you?
Yes, it was. And it's funny because when there are certain elements that, they write an episode and they write an arc for a character that can happen over the course of a couple episodes. So you don't necessarily know what's going to happen next as the actor, but it's very exciting when they get to tell you, some of their secrets about what's coming up. So I have been told some secrets that I'm pretty sure, I guess with the exception of Ashley Benson, because she's in those scenes also. There are some secrets that I've been told that the rest of the cast doesn't know about yet. And one of them, again, I can't say what it is, but one of them is kind of going to be revealed in the next episode, which is number 16, which is number 3 of the second half. It's very confusing. But I'm waiting for the table read next week for the next episode, because the rest of the cast doesn't know what's going on with my character. So it's very exciting when they pull you to the side and they're like, "This is what's happening." Because
how hard is it to keep the secret from everybody else?
Oh, I've let it slip. Not to people outside the show. I mean, I think I told Shay, who plays Emily, and she's like, "What? I had no idea that was happening." And I'm like, "Oops." Pretend I didn't say anything at all. So the cat's out of the bag with Shay, but Lucy and Troyan don't know yet. So I can't wait for them to be like, "Oh my God."
So is it mystery related, or will we have love triangle type material?
It's more mystery related. Again, what can I say and what can I cannot say? I'm trying to not have to backtrack or anything while I talk to you guys.
Will the mystery bring them closer?
Possibly. I would say so. It just kind of depends on, how Hannah responds in a way to whatever's going to happen. So.
You said that Halloween was one of A's favorite holidays. Is it one of your favorite holidays? And do you have any cute Halloween stories?
I'm actually, I know this is really bad, but I'm not a big Halloween person. I've never really been a big Halloween person. I kind of pay no attention to it. I know that's a really lame thing for me to say. I love Halloween. I leave a big bowl of candy out in front of my door. I dress up, the whole shebang. I don't know. Yeah, I never really, in high school, there was the dress up day or whatever. Or if it wasn't actually Halloween on a school day, people would come in costume on that Friday or whatever. It was over the weekend. But I never really did that. I think. I'm actually, I don't know if I can't really plug another show, never mind. I'm on the Halloween episode for a show called Good Luck Charlie, this year, which is on Disney Channel, and what they do over there is they have a dress-up day every week. So Bridget Medler does like a theme day, and she's like, today we're all gonna dress up like da 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 da. So for the Halloween episode, they're like, we're come in costume for the rehearsal day, and I didn't, and I was the only one who did it, and they were like, what are you? And I'm like, I'm Casual Friday, and I was just not dressed as me. So that's an example of like me on Halloween, is Casual Friday.
Shooting the Halloween episode, was it a challenge to kind of put out of your head everything that's happened since the show started, because it's a prequel?
Yes.
So all those things, was that
that's a great question. It was a challenge because you have to keep in mind, like you said, what's happening, and the plot line for this show is so intricate and so complicated, and there's all these different. It's kind of like a tree in a way, like this like root thing with the tree. There's all these. Sorry, I'm making like stupid metaphors. But it was, because as an actor, these things haven't happened yet. But we know what we shot last week. But it was really a fun experience for me because I got to do a lot of things I don't usually get to do on this show. I guess I could say a lot of like physical stuff, and a lot of. I come from a theater background. I grew up doing theater, and I got to use a lot of like those, physical theater skills, like mask work and stuff like that. So it was kind of a different set of skills as an actor. So I had a blast on that episode. But sorry, to answer your question more directly, it was, you had to keep in mind that it was a prequel. So.
Are we gonna see how Allie tormented Lucas?
Yeah. Yes. And then how, more specifically, how Lucas reacted to that. I'm not sure if it's not different from what we already know, but the response to it is going to definitely entertain some questions about Lucas's character. But like I said, it's not. Her opinion of Lucas was no different in the prequel than it was, in the flashbacks that we usually have on the show.
Is the Halloween episode told in flashbacks, or is it sort of like a consecutive hour?
It's a consecutive hour of it's all it's a prequel, so it's it's set before she died. So I guess it is a flashback, but not like we have done on the show before.
We're not jumping back and forth.
We're not jumping back and forth. It's one consecutive storyline, and we shot it as as in present time, if that makes sense. Because usually what we do on the show is they use like kind of a yellow camera filter for the flashbacks. So it's going to look like a regular episode, and it's beautifully shot. I got to see a little bit of footage when we were filming, a little bit of the playback. And Dana Gonzalez, who's our DP, directed this episode. So it's gonna be awesome. It's stunning, and it's beautiful and creepy and sick and twisted at the same time. So Alice was sick and twisted, or she is sick and twisted. But the thing is that Sasha is so nice. The girl who plays Allison, she is such a sweetheart, and it's really impressive how she can switch things on and off. She's, like I said, impressive.
So I guess we have about 2 minutes left.
How do you think Lucas sees himself in the role of the Pretty Little Liars Society? Does he see himself on the fringes looking in, or is he part of their inner circle? What role has he adopted for himself?
I think that he sees himself as this Hannah relationship. He's kind of a confidant in a way, and we're going to see. I think it's in this episode that we're shooting right now. Hannah kind of feels the same way. As a friend, but kind of, on a different level than just friends at school. So I think that he's kind of adopted this confidant thing, but at the same time, I think there's still this undertone of there's a possibility that it could turn into, a love interest sort of thing. But it's interesting that you asked that, because he's different than any of the male characters on the show. with the exception of the adults, everybody's a love interest. There's no other than Lucas, there's no like platonic male friend. So I think that's a really interesting thing and a really interesting dynamic to the character, and I have a lot of fun kind of discovering that and what that means, and kind of walking the line between friend and lover in a way. I know that sounds lover.